Hello, my name's Rick. I'm an IELTS teacher. I've been teaching English for over 20 years now. I've been teaching IELTS for more than 15 years. And I teach at Lllойds International College in the CBD of Sydney. And I'm very happy here, and I think you would be happy here as well. So please come to our college, and I hope to see you soon.
What about Russian? Your experience with Russian students, Ukrainians, these people?
I have lots and lots of Russian students, lots of Ukrainian students, and students from other countries as well, Italy and people from South America and Japan, South Korea. The students wonderful from everywhere. The Russian students, the Ukrainian students work hard. They're polite, funny, interesting, very well educated, wonderful people. I really enjoy meeting all of them.
Thank you.
So I teach the IELTS evening class. Right, I know Alex, I know Betty, and I know Carmen. Hello, my name's Rick. What is your name, please?
Hi, Rick. I'm Amy.
Amy, okay, just let me write all these names down. Fantastic, nice to meet you. And what is your name, please?
EJ.
EJ. EJ, fantastic, nice to meet you. EJ, and what is... Oh, hello, mate. And hello, what is your name, please?
My name is Zaya.
Is...
Z-A-Y-A.
Z-A... I think you said Y-A. Zaya? Zaya, okay, fantastic. Nice to meet you, Zaya. Okay, well, I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do this because I've never done anything exactly like this before. But I think the first thing I'll do is show you this. Just to explain what I do every day. Do we want this door open or closed?
I think some staff still gonna come in.
Okay, Alright, so just to explain what I do every day. At the top, Rick's IELTS class schedule or schedule? That's a good question. What's the pronunciation? Schedule or schedule? EJ, what do you think?
Well, between Koreans, we all just pronounce schedule.
Yeah.
But with my Russian friends, they pronounce schedule.
Oh, very good, well done. Yes, in the USA it's schedule. But in the UK and here in Australia we don't pronounce the C, so yeah, we say schedule. Schedule, mate. Both are correct. I mean, both are correct, but in Australia we usually say schedule. Yeah, true. 5:15 to 9:30 every day, and yes, so I teach until 9:30. I often go after 9:30 with students. Some students want to stay behind and talk about their CV or just want to do a practice speaking test, which I do quite often after the class. And that's fine, that's no problem, as long as it's not until 2 o'clock in the morning. Alright, so the first thing I do every day is listening practice from an IELTS practice test, and we'll do one together in a moment. After that, every day I do reading practice. Now, I think all of you probably know listening is the same for general training IELTS and academic IELTS. So two IELTS tests. I teach both, general training and academic, and the listening is the same for those two. The reading is different. General training, academic is different, so I have to give two different things to the different types of students. And again, I'll show you some examples later. After that, if I have time, I do some listening or reading skills, look at some hints, some tips to help students with particular types of questions, and it's very, very important. After that, every day, we have some writing. On Mondays, I do task 1 writing. The writing test, again, I think all of you probably know, the writing test, it's 1 hour, and there are 2 sections, task 1 and task 2. And the short writing is task 1. And general training and academic, they're different. So again, I have to give students different things. Again, I will show you all of this later. So on Mondays we do task 1 writing, short writing. On Tuesdays we do some summary writing. Why do I do summary writing? Well, because there are often summary questions in the listening and reading modules. Also, writing a summary helps students with finding key information quickly, which of course is a key thing for the IELTS test. Also, writing a summary helps students with thinking about different words with the same meaning, which is a key skill for the IELTS test, both listening and reading. Very often in the reading test and the listening test, the question will have one word and the text will have something different but with the same meaning. For example, Zaya, what is a different way to say 5:15? Yeah, we've got 5:15. What's a different way to say 5:15?
15 past 5.
Nearly. Any guesses, Amy? Quarter past 5, yeah. 5:15, quarter past 5. Quarter past 5 is the same thing. 9:30. What's another way to say 9:30?
9:30.
9:30. Very good. On Wednesdays we do task 2 writing, long writing, which is lots of fun. 250 words. 40 minutes, don't worry, we're not going to do that today.
Oh, geez, thank you. You're writing for me.
It is, but I think we should do one long essay every week in the classroom. Students can do more for homework if they want. Do I give homework? Yes, if students want it. If students want it, I say, yes, I give them homework. Usually they don't want it. But if they want homework, yes. Thursday is another task 1 writing, short writing, and on Fridays, writing up a 2-minute speech. Now, we'll show you more of this later, but in the speaking test, part 2 of the speaking test is a speech. And the students have to talk for 2 minutes about their favourite movie or about their a time when they were ill or about a vacation. And then on Fridays I make them write up the same thing. 150 words, 20 minutes. Number 5, yes, we do look at some writing skills, writing hints. Again, if we have enough time. Usually there's enough time. Number 6, next thing we do every day, well, nearly every day, vocabulary or grammar exercises, except on Wednesdays, because we do a long essay on this day. On Wednesdays we do a long essay, it takes a long time, so we don't have enough time for vocabulary or grammar. But on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays and Fridays, yes, we do a vocabulary or grammar lesson. 7, news story. Amy. No, not Amy, it's Carmen. That's Carmen. Amy, Carmen. Right, Carmen. Do you read a newspaper every day?
Not really.
Not really? Me neither. Well, yes, I do because I do it for work. IELTS examiners IELTS examiners recommend that students read newspapers every day. I try to find news stories that are useful for the IELTS test. Which topics are most important for the IELTS test? Does anyone know what's the most? May, what's the most common topic on the IELTS test?
Most environment.
The environment is very, very common. Yeah, true. But probably education. Yeah, education is probably the most common topic. Yesterday I did an education story with the students. Environment, pollution, crime, travel, technology. Technology is also very, very popular. And also work nowadays. Hello. And write your name in a form. Cindy. And also work nowadays. Basically, since 2008, since the financial crisis, work, jobs, economies, industries, they've become very common topics. So we look at a news story every day. I give them students just one story, and I write some questions for it as well. Number 8, pronunciation. We read the news story together. Well, I have students read one sentence and then one sentence, one sentence, one sentence. And I try to make them sound like a newsreader on television. So with very clear pronunciation. Number 9, speaking practice. Hello, come in. Every day we do some speaking practice. And again, I'll show you all of this later. Hello, my name is Rick. And what is your name, please? Sorry?
Me, M-Y.
M-Y. Pronunciation is me?
Yeah.
Me. Okay. And number 10, if we have time, some speaking skills, speaking hints if we have enough time. So you can see that every day I do some listening, some reading, some writing, and some speaking. So I got that written at the bottom. So you can see that we look at the 4 IELTS modules: listening, reading, writing, and speaking every day. Any questions yet? Anybody?
So after this, do you give the assignment for students to do at home, or all the assignment do in the class?
Nearly everything is done in the class. If the students want homework, yes, I give them some homework. Usually it would be writing.
Yeah, for example, if the student, the IELTS is 5.0 now, currently 5.0, if the student is a keen, very loyalty student, come each class with you, and probably how many weeks can increase to 6.0?
The IELTS examiners say that if you want to increase your score by 1 point, you have to study very hard every day for 3 months.
Wow. 12 weeks.
12 weeks. Yeah, that's the IELTS examiners' advice. That's what the IELTS examiners say. But, of course, it depends. Not all students are the same. Maybe it could take, on average, about 12 weeks. But maybe, possibly 10 weeks, possibly 8 weeks, and possibly longer.
But our IELTS class is focused on the student, how to help the student to prepare the test, or we just teaching?
In my class, I focus on the test. Many of my students actually don't, some of my students actually don't want to do the test. They just want to improve their listening, reading, writing and speaking. And that's fine. That's okay. The IELTS test is English. And I often just, I focus on the test, yes, but the test is listening, reading, writing and speaking.
The reason I ask this because of there is some students, and the reason they take the IELTS class is, for example, in 3 months they have to take the test in order to pass the migration requirement, and that test must be they have to reach the 6.0 or 6.15 or 7 score. So some students even happy to more practice on some testing.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
I try to give them as much work as possible. Again, if they want homework, I give it to them. If they want to do a practice test with me after the class, that's okay. There are practice tests at UTS, which are free. There's one on the 21st of April, which students can do. And I've been recommending it to all the students.
Do we have each week have a IELTS test, like a normal, exactly similar?
Well, basically, what we do in the class every day is basically a practice test. So every day we do listening, reading, writing, speaking, and what we're going to look at here is section 1 of the listening, and one day I do section 1, next day section 2, next day section 3, next day section 4, and the students keep their scores from every day and can add them together to get a practice to get their score for the IELTS test. And for example, in the listening, if you want to score 6, you need to get 20, I think it's 23 out of 40. There are 40 questions.
Yeah.
You need to get 23, so usually.
Yeah, I mean, that's we do every week. For example, Friday or every 2 weeks, give exactly whole test for the student to see how is the score going.
We used to have a practice IELTS test on Friday mornings, but we don't have that now. In my class, I don't do that at the moment because it would take a very long time, and I think students might find it a bit boring. But possibly I could do that in the future. If students want it, I'll talk to the students, and if they really want that, then maybe I will introduce that. And if marketing people want that, then I will introduce it. At the moment, I think it's not really. Possibly. Well, maybe a good idea, maybe not. I'm not sure. I'll talk with the students, and if you really want me to do it, then I'll do it.
Maybe Friday evening?
On Friday evenings, perhaps. Yeah.
Who comes on a Friday evening?
Lots of students.
No one comes. Do they? No one comes.
Numbers are down a little bit on Fridays. Yes, maybe 10%.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll talk to the students about it. Probably not every week.
Every 2 weeks.
Or maybe every month. Yeah.
Actually, Dennis and me are talking about the mock test day on Friday morning, and maybe once a month. So maybe your students can also come in the morning, like once a month or something. So you can keep your style.
Okay.
Yeah, you already plan Monday to Friday, so you don't have to.
Alright, I'll talk.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll talk with
Because
them.
the agent asked us your else every school else teach speaking, listening, grammar, everything. It's the same. What's the difference you with other college? Usually, how many ways students need to study in your college and can confident achieve one score in advance or whatever you are focused on test or something.
I mean, I cannot guarantee, I cannot promise anything, but the general advice is 12 weeks to improve by 1 point. Between 5 and 6, I would say very often about 12 weeks. Between 6 and 7, in my opinion, takes a bit longer. Hello, my name's Rick, and what is your name, please? Isha. Okay. Nice to meet you, Isha. You've got that list there. Good.
Rick, but officially on the IELTS website they say that 0.5 they reach in 10 weeks.
Really?
So 1 point for average 20 weeks. It's how the higher education institutions work. So if you need 1 point, you have to be enrolled for 20 weeks of EEP of IELTS.
Maybe that's for academic IELTS, not general.
General is a bit easier, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe it's double the time for academic.
I haven't checked it recently. I'll have a look, thanks. Okay, now, so the first thing we'll look at is a listening exercise. Do I have enough pieces of paper?
I don't need it. I don't need it.
Okay. Alright, so the first thing I do every day in the classroom is a listening exercise. And yes, this is like the real test. This is
Таким образом, этот видеоролик дает вам представление о том, каким образом Рик Тёрнер, один из лучших наших преподавателей, если не лучший преподаватель, и один из лучших преподавателей Сиднея, как он проводит свои лекции. Это кусочек лекции, который был проведен Риком Тёрнером не для студентов, а для менеджеров и ответственных работников самого Ллойдс Колледжа, администрации. И если вы внимательно послушаете, в том числе и, может быть, какие-то работники департамента иммиграции, вы поймете, насколько ответственный подход у нас в колледже к преподаванию и насколько ответственно к этому преподаванию относится Рик Тёрнер. И когда наши студенты будут подаваться на визу, они должны быть готовы ответить на вопросы работников департамента иммиграции о преподавании, о самом Ллойдс Колледже, потому что вы, если подаетесь в колледж, вы должны объяснить, почему в этот колледж, а не в какой-либо другой. Большое спасибо.